Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality of the best hair, and it's time to tackle a movie review that's been a request for quite a long time. John Carpenter's They Live. Released in 1988, They Live is a sci-fi action horror social commentary based on the 1967 short story 8 O'Clock in the Morning. Its impact and topics have helped to keep it relevant well into the 21st century, and if you haven't seen it yet, I'm sure you've seen the memes everywhere. Which means you probably already know the plot. Which is about the same as it was in the original story, although that one was really, really short. Like a creepypasta. But They Live is a whole 90-minute feature film starring wrestler Roddy Piper as your everyman in a dystopian present America where socioeconomic stresses are eroding the middle class more and more, and the people suffer. Which is exactly what our alien overlords want! And once his eyes are open, he's faced with endless challenges as he tries to save both himself and the entire human race! Man, those rest of the story arcs were nuts back in the day. Anyway, let's take a look at They Live and feel more and more horrified the more we realize just how well it resonates today. Opening in a dingy rail yard, we are immediately introduced to our protagonist, professional wrestler Roddy Piper. He plays professional wrestler Roddy Piper. Well, he's credited as Nada, the same name as the protagonist in 8 O'Clock in the Morning, but no one ever says his name all movie, so it's Roddy Piper. Here, he's a homeless drifter on the streets of LA, just trying to get by from one day to the other.
Last place of employment?
Denver, Colorado. Worked there for 10 years. And things just seem to dry up.
And his predicament isn't exactly special. Times are tough and employment is hard to come by. Man, those zany science fiction stories are crazy, aren't they? The employment officers are no help whatsoever, but at least the local street preachers work as a source of entertainment.
They have recruited the rich and the powerful, and they have blinded us to the truth.
And important plot points, of course. Still not getting Roddy a job anytime soon, so nothing to do but find a nice alley with a view of some television to pass the time.
All I ever have to do is be famous. People watch me, and they love me.
Life goals! Still on the prowl, Piper sees if he can work at a local construction site.
This is a union job.
Mentira! Oh, disculpe, señor. No worries, he gets the job just the same, meaning he has a chance to run in with another worker there, Frank, played by Keith David. He tells Piper about somewhere they can head for food and showers, but he doesn't respond, only tail him.
I don't like nobody following me unless I know why.
Curious about that third leg is all. Damn, Keith. The destination is a little shantytown of similarly disposed individuals, including Gilbert, played by Peter Jason.
You got that pack? Tools?
Yes, sir.
Well, if you can use them, we can use you. The shower's caving in over there.
Oh damn, don't tell me I have to break out the power drill to get the pork and beans too. Either way, Frank becomes fast friends with Piper and tells him his tragic backstory. Seems he's from Detroit and had to leave his wife and kid when the steel mills shut down. Piper doesn't think it's all bad, but Frank isn't buying it. In his eyes, the game of life isn't a happy board game with a wonderful house and family at the end. It's a fucking battle royale.
You do what you can, but remember, I'm gonna do my best to blow your ass away.
Well, not if I can build a giant tower out of popsicle sticks first. No bother, Piper still believes in the American dream. Even if they're so poor, we have the most famous homeless man in Hollywood present, Buck Flower. But that night, something strange appears on TV. John Lawrence, who begins spoiling the ever-loving fuck out of the plot.
Their intention to rule rests with the annihilation of consciousness. We have been lulled into a trance.
Huh? That can't be that important. President's dogs have a Twitter. This message doesn't do much, though, as all the people care is that it gives them a headache, and more importantly, is interrupting their television watching, so bye-bye, Beardy! Though it seems the street preacher, played by Raymond St. Jacques, was affected by this, and Gilbert whisks him away back into the church, which Piper notices. Yeah, don't worry about it. Besides, it's time for more plot details with Beardy.
Not again.
We cannot break their signal. Our transmitter is not powerful enough. The signal must be shut off at the source.
Okay, if it turns out to be a Krispy Kreme, I'm out.
I have a headache.
Me too, honey.
God damn it, this is why we can't have nuance or subtlety in storytelling anymore. Sure, he's doing his best to break the programming and wake people up, but fuck that, he's interrupting the programming. Once the hacker's signal breaks, though, Gilbert runs off into the church, which Piper notices. So, following the man inside, he finds nobody! And a strange little setup with lenses everywhere. Oh, and the choir practice is nothing more than an audio tape. That's because the church is actually the Resistance hideout, and the bearded man broadcasts from here in secret. Gilbert says they can't break the baddie signal anymore, but Lawrence says they have no choice but to keep trying. Never mind that for now.
Oh! Just leaving, you know. Your door was open. Just wanted to close it, didn't want no one breaking in.
And you gotta keep out for those weirdos, am I right? The blind preacher quite thoroughly gropes Piper's face and feels his hands before deciding, you know what, you're all right. And there's this whole revolution he can help with. Piper's a bit more interested in fleeing the area, though, so he can spy from afar, only confiding in Frank what he saw and is seeing.
Leave it alone, man. It ain't none of my business, ain't none of yours.
Yeah, but our boy Gilbert's in there helping him.
And I would ask him directly, but, social anxiety and all that. Frank repeats that he really should mind his own business if he doesn't want to get himself in trouble none of them need, but Piper ignores his warnings. However, that night, the police raid their little shanty town. And now it's time to sit back and talk about the cinematography here. There's not much in terms of dialogue, and the police raid takes up quite a bit of runtime, and it's kinda hard to watch. In a good way. It feels sudden and chaotic, violent, and painful to see these characters, most of which we don't know very well, be treated so harshly. About the only thing I can say that's sort of negative is that this doesn't look quite real, only because there's not nearly enough police or homeless people on display clashing, but that might just be because I've seen far too many real-life examples of these kinds of situations caught on film. By the end of the chaos, the bearded man is beaten down, but Piper manages to slip away with a few others.
Come on in and join the party, man.
You go with them.
Fun fact, some consider this a goof because the raid was at nighttime, but after he goes inside, you can see light coming in through the window. Which is only confusing if you've never heard of streetlights. When he returns to the ruins the following day, almost nothing is left, and the church has been absolutely ransacked. However, there was that handy-dandy secret door he just so happened to bump into before, and it turns out the police just weren't quite that thorough. Swiping a box left behind, inside he discovers a shitload of sunglasses! Because, they must hate the sun. The Resistance are a band of vampires! Not satisfied, he keeps digging. But nope, it's just sunglasses. Of course, it's impossible these days to not know the significance of this before watching this scene, but nevertheless, this is a fantastic case of show don't tell, as there isn't any monologuing or overt explanation at all of what's going on. We just watch Piper take a pair of glasses, feeling kinda defeated, and slap him on his noggin, only then to see. You know those glasses that let colorblind people see color? Well, it's kind of the opposite of that. However, they also have another effect, showing the truth behind the illusions all around them. Every billboard, every sign, everything is a subliminal message to the obedient little worker drones.
What's your problem?
Not to mention the ones who control them are hidden around in plain sight, just as disguised as their little hypnosis. And they look kind of like decaying people, because Carpenter felt that they sort of represented the decay of human society. And honestly, it's better than how they were described in the original story. Think scales and more eyes. The visions continue, where money is God, and signals are sent out everywhere commanding people to sleep. Piper sees the creatures milling about in public everywhere, but usually in affluent positions.
So depressed, I don't know what to do. Hey, go for it, man. It's easy for you to say you got the promotion. Look, it'll come, all right? Just don't worry about it.
So society is held up by a pretty lie, but a secret class of elites are just everywhere pretending to be normal people, but they are actually working for their own self-interest at the detriment of everyone around them. Can't say I've ever heard of anything like that before.
It's a new morning in America. Fresh, vital. The old cynicism is gone. We have faith in our leaders.
Mario Kart. Also, in a departure from the original story, Piper here doesn't keep quiet and immediately understand that his life is at risk if they know he can see them, instead pointing out, "Hey, thanks to these glasses, I can see just how butt-ugly you are!" Which has the predicted effect of causing all the aliens in the vicinity to call in that they have one who can see. Not that he slows down letting everyone know that he can see them.
That's like pouring perfume on a pig.
All right, suppose we settle down.
Piper, you should know by now, you gotta be damn careful what you say on social media. No surprise, the cops are, in fact, alien bastards who neglected to take into account this was Roddy Piper who beats the crap out of them in record time, killing them in the alleyway. Then grabbing the handy-dandy shotgun, he smoothly moves on to the crazed gunman part of the storyline.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Probably not going to surprise anyone with this piece of trivia, but Piper's the one that came up with that line. Thus, a shootout breaks out as Piper blows away only the inhuman things. Spare the ones who magically teleport away, so he must run!
And who are you, little fella?
Just one of the spy drones the baddies employ, and I gotta say, I love the aesthetic. I can't be the only one who sees those designs in black and white and gets a massive sense of 1950s sci-fi, can I? He's sure not to harm any humans along the way, though, unless of course you count something silly like holding a woman up at gunpoint and forcing her to provide his getaway. The woman in question being Holly, played by Meg Foster. Once they're in the clear, he tells her to drive them back to her place, as he has to stop this killing spree sometime.
Woo! It's like a drug. Wearing these glasses makes you high, but you come down hard.
To quote Matt Damon, mass genocide is the most exhausting activity one can engage in, next to soccer. He does have the energy to tell her that they're out there, everywhere, and you can only see them with these special glasses. And she's all like, "Of course they're out there. Of course. I believe you. Just don't hurt me." So he gives up on trying to convince her, but when he hears she is actually working for the television studio...
They're sending some kind of signals out of TV sets.
Oh, it just doesn't have the same impact without someone going through a table at some point. And she calls the cops, so he must run! Or limp, anyway. Trying to find some friend in this world, he heads back to the worksite to see Frank, who is not quite as friendly as he remembers.
How many people did you kill?
Not people.
You crazy son of a bitch!
Oh, the naivete of young Keith David. He has no idea the shit he's gonna see when he's vice president in Saints Row 4. Point is, now he has no desire to interact with Piper whatsoever, which means all Piper can do is return to the alley he stashed the glasses in, and realize he tossed them in a trash can, which tends to get collected. No bother, he gets them back without too much trouble.
Oh, no.
Without too much, not without any. If you ask me, his lucky streak continues because Frank somehow managed to track him down to this random alley and hands him a week's pay just to help him lay low. That's not good enough for Piper, though.
Try these on.
Look, you crazy mother.
Put these on.
Hey! Stay away from me!
I'm telling you, you dumb son of a bitch!
But you see, that's the thing about knowing the truth and your friends being blissfully unaware. Most of the time, they don't want to know the truth, and they will fight you to remain ignorant. Which, in my opinion, is encapsulated beautifully in this scene as the two fight back and forth, but are clearly still friends. But Piper's insistence that Frank look through the glasses remains a bridge too far and only serves to continue the battle as they trade blows over and over and over again. Allegedly, this was originally supposed to be a relatively quick scuffle, but Roddy and Keith did such a good job choreographing their own fight, the scene was allowed to simply play out, and, in my opinion, only serves to hammer the narrative point home, like an extra 12 episodes of Dragon Ball. Finally, after they beat each other to the breaking point, Piper does manage to get the glasses on Frank's face.
Look! Look at them, they're everywhere!
I don't know, maybe they can see Alley 5th and Spring.
Now hold on.
But sadly, that is the end of the fight, though. I think a more realistic resolution would be for the Frank to see the weird alien things and say it doesn't matter that he can see weird alien things and continue to beat the crap out of Piper. Now, though, Frank and Piper are friends again, united in the knowledge of the evil alien masterminds that surround them in secret. Of course, the fact that neither of them have the slightest idea what they can do about these things does put a damper on their spirits. Frank figures their best bet is to track down the group who manufactured the sunglasses. No leads, really, so Gilbert just so happens to run into them instead. As luck would have it, right in time to invite them to a resistance meeting.
The world needs a wake-up call. We're gonna phone it in.
Pretty sure that sounded better in your head. Upon their arrival, we get right to business. First of all, the sunglasses have done their job for the movie, so we're moving on to handy-dandy contact lenses. And never mind that drug downer brain pain side effect, that's gone too. Now for the plot.
Most of the cops are human. They've been told that we're commies trying to bring down the government.
Commies? Preposterous. Everybody knows that the greatest threat to Western society are those dastardly white supremacists hiding behind every bush. Not only that, but some humans join the baddies even knowingly because they get wealth in return. Furthermore, climate changes roll into the plot as the Earth's atmosphere is being changed for their benefit. So, the plan is to hit 'em and hit 'em hard. Also, they just so happen to have an alien James Bond watch with teleportation technology. Now, hopefully they can use this to take out the hypnotizing signal, something Holly is very informative about. Yeah, she's here too, says she saw the truth and all that. Gonna help the resistance.
I just wonder. Can we just...
But there's a slight problem with planning out your assault on the alien stronghold. Shit don't always go according to plan. Thus, an action scene breaks out. Mankind's pathetic little resistance is gunned down in record time, and no one is safe. Very few even make it out alive, while Frank and Piper get pinned in an alley. Not to worry, remember that handy-dandy teleportation technology in a watch? Well, it also has a weird alternate fire mode that keeps the portal open long enough for two people to get through.
If you need assistance in finding your destination, bilingual instructions are posted at the end of each corridor.
Yeah, English and what the fuckian. It appears that the teleportation timepiece has brought them to a secret alien base. Sneaking through the surprisingly sparse and stupid security, they find a dining hall. The aliens are holding a secret meeting talking about how now the human resistance is completely crushed, and they rule the world. Don't worry, the few humans present are the elites, and get rewarded for their assistance with wealth and power.
How you doing, boys? I didn't know you'd been recruited. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, I mean, there were all those alerts about Piper. There's that spot on the evening news where he's a very wanted man for gunning down all the aliens. But hey, if he somehow managed to make it to the alien base, most likely reason is because he finally got a real job. As Buck Flower trusts them instantly. And no, this isn't some kind of deception where he leads them to their doom. He legit believes these two confused-looking, dirty, armed men are the newest members of Team Alien. And yes, based on the interplanetary travel pad, it's confirmed they are very much alien. Also, Buck brings them to the secret broadcast station where the hypnotizing signal is sent out that controls the entire human race. Naturally, they ask for a closer look.
You have your authorization cards.
Right here. Watch the door.
Now, don't look all scared now. If all this time you thought they were friendly, how exactly is them gunning down a few armed guards in front of you going to change your mind that fast? The aliens' hypnotizing signal is coming from the roof, and the guys don't care for Buck's pleas that the aliens are going to win anyway, so may as well live the good life while you still live. No bother. They break into the studio and mow down the alien scum, powering through on their way to the rooftop. No, yeah, she works at the studio. Got there awful damn fast considering the shootout of the resistance base not long ago.
Let's go!
Ah, because that's the twist. Holly was working for the aliens all along. Like, overtly. But covertly. You know what I mean. Which brings us to our final showdown. Piper's made it to the transmitter, but he's completely surrounded. The aliens have won, and his only chance to survive is to surrender. So he blows Holly away before breaking the brainwashing broadcast. And getting gunned down in the process. So, ambiguous ending. The aliens won and remain in control. However, their hypnosis over the human race has broken, and everyone can see them for who they truly are.
You're moving on.
Hey, what's wrong, baby?
Which is far darker, less cut and dry, and more interesting than the original story's ending. Yay, humans beat the aliens. Woo, winners. Anyway, that was They Live. That's a lot better than it had any right to be. Yeah, the movie's got heaps of praise and all that, but I really wasn't prepared for exactly how many things I'd notice here that just worked for me. It's the obvious point that the movie gives us both crazy action scenes of humans versus alien gunfights, and the slower, more thoughtful sections of social commentary, but that's only scratching the surface here. The cinematography at work is very well done, and it's certainly put to good use, considering that a good chunk of the running time, including what is effectively exposition and social commentary, contains absolutely no dialogue. The motion picture's method of storytelling relies solely on moving pictures there. Then, of course, there's the secret world, the black and white world where the mask comes off. Most of this is done in still frames, but the combination of black and white and more classic alien technology styles works both to harken back to classic sci-fi and differentiate the harsh truth from the comfortable lie. Finally, there's the overall plot and message, and it's done very well. It's ambiguous enough that you can talk about it, but strong enough that it still leaves a feeling of a pretty direct message. I personally feel like the ending is telling us that even if we're doomed, even if those who lie to us and manipulate things are far beyond our reach or any hope to change the set course, still, the truth itself is worth fighting for and acknowledging. And finally, there's Roddy Piper. His acting, well, it's damn entertaining throughout, and that's all I could ask for. At the end of the day, They Live is a fantastic flick and scarily poignant, coming in at 5 pairs of weapons-grade sunglasses out of 5. Though I can't help but think that those glasses become very uncomfortable during Thanksgiving dinner. Thank you all for watching. I've been Shado. And remember, don't assume that anyone walking around our secret alien base is an ally just because they happen to know the address.
Oh, man, I'm sorry, man. Fuck!